Hello, I hope everyone's been having a great week. This week I wanted to talk a bit about self-reflection. And part of my healing journey has been learning how to use self-reflection effectively. At first, I really avoided it. I was afraid of what I might find. And when I was asked by my therapist how I felt about journaling or creating images in my reflections, I just blankly said that I don't do that. I don't like that stuff. So now, a few years later, multiple journals later, drawings later, well, I learned to embrace journaling and imagery work. They've helped me tremendously. I've learned that reflection isn't just part of my healing, it's become essential to how I live, how I lead at work, how I care for myself. I reflect on things that go awry so I can do them better next time. And when things go perfectly, because I know they're not perfect, that they could be better the next time around. And I need to reinforce what worked. I'm adamant about being better and getting better and learning that mistakes are part of life. It's part of being human. What about you? What do you reflect on in your healing journey? Add a comment below and be sure to click that subscribe button. Self-reflection is the act of looking inward, examining my thoughts, my emotions, my experiences, with intention to understand. The magazine Psychology Today talks about self-reflection builds self-awareness and that the foundation for behavior and behavior change and emotional intelligence. It's not the same as rumination. Rumination replays that pain. I call it perseverating on the pain. Reflection reveals the patterns and creates space for growth. It helps me identify the patterns so I can break them. And when I do this gently with myself, it's actually a gift. But for trauma survivors, reflection isn't always easy. It's hard work. And I remember when I started to see my therapist, who I still have, who's up in Montana. She started out our session together, letting me know that therapy, reflection, recovery could result in some pretty major changes in my life. And I could tell you my gut knew that, and that these changes were going to be big. I acknowledged this, knowing full well I would stop trying to launch a nonprofit that I had been working on with my now ex-husband for veterans of PTSD, that it would have a huge effect on my marriage, and that it would allow me to walk away from the abuse and from the trauma. How therapy affected both of those basically equated to ending the marriage. Reflection informed my decisions, but the process was incredibly painful. The book, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, talks about how trauma fragments memories and teaches the brain to avoid looking inward as a way to survive. The first time I tried to reflect, it didn't feel like healing. It felt like self-blame, shame, guilt, fear. But over time, gently and slowly, I've learned that looking inward doesn't have to hurt. These days, I catch myself thinking about many things my abusers have said, and something's different. That sting is gone. There's another article I read by Harvard Business Review that people who reflect regularly tend to develop stronger emotional resilience and deeper self-trust. And I think that's what was happening. Sometimes I hear an old memory and realize I no longer believe it. Sometimes I actually laugh at how my abuser tried to convince me that I was wrong. I misremembered an event I had forgotten. All of that, of course, being gaslighted. I laugh about how they've twisted the truth, and no longer believing the words of the abuser is not just healing, it's my progress in my healing journey. It's how I know I'm no longer internalizing their lies. Reflection isn't just for healing, it's not for growth, just for growth. It's for leading. It's how I lead at work every day, for living more intentionally, how I parent, how I grandparent. I've used reflection to make better decisions at work, to understand my triggers, and to reconnect in relationships with a great deal more clarity. I use reflection to connect with how I feel about something, to listen to my gut, and to learn to trust my gut's reactions. Self-reflection is no longer a place I fear, rather it's a space I've learned to trust. And I've learned to trust the power of journaling, of imagery work. So today I want to invite you to join me. What do you reflect upon in your healing journey? What thoughts or memories used to sting, but now hold less power over you? Let yourself pause, write it down, or share it in the comments. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. And before you leave, click that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Until next week, bye for now.